everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a dazzled or disappointed for you. What else is new? Lately that's all it's been, but I have a dazzled or disappointed for you on the new Marc Jacobs Omega Glaze All Over Foil Luminizer. This was part of Marc Jacobs holiday lineup, and it is the only item I picked up from Marc Jacobs holiday line. So usually I kind of steer clear of Marc Jacobs for holiday just because there's nothing that usually stands out to me. In this case, I think last year I got the eyeshadow palette. This year I ended up picking up this bad boy because you know how I feel about highlighters. So I've been playing around with this, using it, testing it, wearing it. So if you want to see swatches, if you want to hear my thoughts, if you want to see me apply this, let's apply this together, then just keep on watching. So first off, I want to start by reading to you the Sephora description, giving you some feedback or information there. So first off, it's $49. It does come with 0.35 ounces or 10 grams of product. And it says it's a limited edition highlighter with a reflective foiled look in an oversized covetable gold compact. Get more of what you love with this larger than life luminizer, and that it is huge. That adds reflective radiance with the touch of a brush. The microfine jet milled powder applies seamlessly for a get noticed glow without glitter. The warm peachy gold highlighter is perfectly sized for both face and all over body use. Presented in a super shiny mirrored gold compact, this foil luminizer makes the perfect gift for someone who always glows for it. So that is that. It is obviously limited edition. Like I mentioned, it is $49, and I already gave you the volume that comes in there. It is made in Canada, and the packaging is pretty similar to the Omega bronzer with the exception of the top, which is gold, which I am here for. I love that they changed up the packaging, that it is specific to holidays, and that is what I love when they go, you know, out of their box and do something different. So you open it up, it's again just like the bronzer. It has the little button right here. You open this up and inside you have the really pretty luxurious little, what are these even called? Protective cover? I don't know. It's white and it has Marc Jacobs in gold. It is really, really pretty. I always save those. They're just nice, like it keeps the luxury intact. In here you've got a mirror, very oversized mirror, and you've got a very oversized highlighter. I mean, look at this thing, quite frankly. Look. It almost takes up my face, this highlighter does. So highlighters dream in the sense of size, but then again, remember the description said this is for use on face and body. So let me just swatch it for you. I am not yet wearing it on my cheeks. I actually have a little bit of a different one on, a little bit lighter. I went lighter so that I could do this together with you on camera. Here is what this looks like up close. It is a peachy gold. And this is what it looks like on my skin tone. For reference, I am a light medium. Let me put a little bit more on there so that you can kind of have a better idea. And there you go. So definitely can see the gold, especially up against my skin tone. But that's what it looks like. Very metallic, very foiled, and again, very, very gold. So before we go into thoughts, let me first put this on my face. Let me zoom you in. I am wearing a Bobbi Brown highlighter today, but it's actually a very light highlight. And that way I wanted this to be able to, I needed something for during the day. That's already like evening now, so I didn't want to apply this and it be all, you know, grody by the time you got the video. So I grabbed some on my Anastasia A23. You know I like to go like intense with my highlights, so I'm not shy about dipping my brush in. I go in with quite a bit of product. Plus I want you to be able to see what it looks like. So let's just go ahead and start applying. So you're going to be able to see the gold very, very quickly. And you see how it is very metallic. Now granted, the one I had on before was also very pretty on the skin, but this is taking it to a whole nother level. And this is the finish. It's a foiled, I mean, that is in the title. It's an all over foil luminizer. So that's what that looks like there. Let me grab some more for the other side. We'll put this on together. So again, I coat my brush pretty darn well. This is dry. I'm not going in with a wet brush or anything like that. But I don't know if you can kind of see as I'm putting it on, some of the powder kind of flies everywhere. but I don't know if you can see that or not, but I know you can see that luminosity going on my face. So put a little bit on my nose. I feel like I can't ever neglect my nose. So that is what that looks like. Let me move it a little bit because you know, all about the highlight. I have to show you that glazed donut look. So that is what it looks like. Let me come up a little bit closer so hopefully you can tell the tone on my skin tone and you can also tell the finish. So let me zoom you out and we will go over the details. So first off, I love a very metallic highlight and this delivers that. It's very, very foiled. You could tell, very metallic. It amps up in like a split second. It goes 0 to 100. So in that sense, I love it. The next topic is shade. So I was really wondering if this was going to work for my skin tone, quite frankly, because I've told y'all before, if you are a regular to my channel, you know that the gold, the deeper golds really aren't my thing. I'm not really super crazy about them. They just really don't do much for my skin tone, and that's just my preference. So I was wondering how the peachy was going to play into the whole peachy gold tone, and it is a very rich gold. So in that sense, I'm not super crazy about it. It's a little too gold for me. What I have done in playing around with this is I've mixed it with other shades that are lighter, and it's actually worked out okay. One of them being Ofra's Pillow Talk, because that one is like on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. It's very light. It evened it out very, very nicely, and they're both very glowy highlighters, so it gave me the glow and also kind of balanced out the gold for me. But this type of shade is not my cup of tea. However, on the flip side, I know my deeper skin tone ladies, you've kind of been gypped here lately with holiday releases and prior to that. And so it's kind of nice, though, that this is, even though for me it's a little bit too gold, it's something I think will be stunning on your skin tone. Just absolutely beautiful, just a pop. And in that sense, it's not really a disappointment, you know? I mean, it's kind of one of those things where product after product, I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. I don't know if to tell you to be able to use this or that or half of this. Anyways, so I am definitely not bummed that, you know, there is a product that really is going to be able to suit my medium to deep skin tones. I think that's great. For me, the tone is a no-go. As far as wear, I've told y'all before, my days can sometimes be very long, and so usually I put my makeup on at about 6:15 in the morning, and I usually take it off around 6:30, sometimes 7 o'clock at night, give or take a little bit. So I can give you the true test on makeup wear. I don't touch up during the day or anything like that. I don't carry like a makeup bag in my purse. Lipstick is all that goes with me. So this, I was able to give the true makeup wear test. And first off, or basically first and foremost and first and last, the only thing about wear is that it fades on me. And I usually don't have that problem. Usually highlighters will last. I mean, it starts looking a little more dingy by the end of the day. You've been out and about, you've been in the heat, you've been this, you've been that. But typically they don't fade on me. And this one faded quite a bit. It was more like the metallic foil finish had just kind of really diminished by end of day. And so when I would look in the mirror, like towards the end of the day, I'm like, what happened to my highlight? So there is that. Lastly, the one thing I have told y'all also, not the one thing, I've told y'all several things about highlighters that I like for myself, but I don't like a highlighter that sits on top of my skin. I like it to melt into my skin, to kind of just be one with my skin. I like it to blend in, just to, for my skin to almost like soak it up, and it just looks like a glowy part of my skin. This does not do that. This one does sit like a layer on top of my skin. I don't know if it's because it's very thick, and to tell you, the consistency of this is very thick, almost creamy-like. Kind of like the consistency of the Dose of Colors I Love Sarai highlights, but I ended up loving those. Loving. Those are in like my top, those are some of my favorites. They don't really do what this one does as far as truly sitting on top of the skin, and this one does. And I don't know if it's because of that creamy texture. I don't know if it's because it feels really, really thick. I don't know what it is, but it does really sit like a layer on top, and I never find that throughout the day it kind of really like blends in and melts in. So that's the deal on that. So all in all, this one was a disappointment for me. I'm sad to say, because when it came in, I was blown away by the packaging. I swatched it and I was like, okay, it's a little gold, but upon first impression, when I had kind of blended it in with a different highlight, I'm like, wow, this looks really good. And the more I've used it, the more I have found that this just isn't for me, based on the tone, first off, based on the fact that it sits on my skin, it fades throughout the day. I'm like, again, so I love Marc Jacobs as a brand. It is pretty rare that their products disappoint me, like, throughout the year, but for some reason when it comes to holiday, I'm just like, never really super impressed. I don't know. But anyways, $49, if this were a Dazzled, would actually be a really great price tag, because this thing is massive. And as it said, you can also use it like on your body, so for your shoulders and stuff like that. But for me, this one's a no-go, just not really worth the $49 price tag. If I could give it a Dazzled based on packaging, I absolutely would. It is stunning, but this one just didn't cut it for me. Okay, my friends, before I let you go, I need to give you the verse of the day. The verse of the day is meant to just help encourage you, to help motivate you in a world where you walk into, if it's your break room, your living room, whatever, the news is on, it's just constant bad news, everything going wrong in the world. But the one constant in everything is that God is good and Jesus cares for you and came to die for you because he loves you so very much. If you were the only person in this world, he would have still come as the ultimate sacrifice. Today's comes from Psalm 55:22, and it says, "Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall." I have found that to be true. I have found that he has never let me fall. I mean, there's times where we have rough road. I can tell you firsthand, sometimes just the day-to-day is rough. Life situations can be so rough. But you know what? He is so amazing. That's the one constant. He's always faithful. He always loves on us. And I can't imagine life without him. All right, my friends, I will talk to you very soon in the next video. Bye, everybody.